Fall is here, and for the Ithaca College Lacrosse team, that means one thing. Well, Dan, after winning an Empire 8 championship a season ago and falling in the second round of the playoffs to a very good R.I.T. team in excruciating fashion, the Bombers are once again going for that national championship, but it all starts with winning the Empire 8.
And coming back last year, the Bombers were led by 9 seniors, a little bit of a younger look this year, trying to repeat as Empire 8 champions.
Well, absolutely. You lose Pat Slaughter, you lose Jake Long, Ryan Burns, Brandon Henney, all guys that made a huge impact a season ago, but they still returned plenty of talent. Justin Bird, Eli Gobret, John Janiskevich, Scott Sydenham. You have great talent all over the roster, and it's once again going to be on Jeff Long to mix it in and make sure that these guys go out there and perform up the standards.
And you talked about Jeff Long returning for his 28th year as Ithaca College head coach.
And it starts with the experience that he brings to the table, and of course, when you have a great coaching staff, the players are going to be able to buy in. And the Bombers certainly have the talent to repeat as the Empire 8 champions, but it's going to start with the hard work in the fall ball.
The question is, will the Bombers be able to get to Memorial Day weekend playing for a championship?
Well, we'll certainly find out, Dan, but one thing's for sure, this Ithaca College Bombers lacrosse team has all the talent in the world, and now it comes down to how well can they execute.
Highlight reel, hashtag SC Top 10. My goodness.
R.I.T. 10-7. Shot and a goal. Beat down low. One shot, now shooting down low. Nice play. In transition, right in front, Tinkle.
Lost to R.I.T. in the second round of the NCAA tournament, and to get past that, we have to find a way to kind of beat those high caliber opponents like R.I.T.
Our biggest motivator, as everyone always says, is winning the Empire 8, making it to the tournament. I mean, that's what we got to do, and that's what our mindset's about.
R.I.T. that's a great team. That's a national championship type team that brought it that day and took it to us and beat us.
So last season we fell short. Now we're hungry.
I got here in '87, so I'm actually entering, I believe, my 28th season. So it's been a pretty long run, but a good run.
I had a strong interest to play lacrosse in college, so I found Ithaca College. It was a little bigger than the normal Division III schools, and that's what I really liked about it.
The recruiting process with Ithaca College started for me the summer going into my senior year. And then I came and did my visit early fall senior year, and it took me about a day or two after that to know that I wanted to come here.
So it was, I think my dates are right, January 13th, I was at Williams. I had gotten a text from Rich Barnes, who was one of our assistants, who was one of my coaching mentors, and we'd always talked about how Ithaca needed an assistant, blah, blah. And then I got a text from Coach Long at like 3:30 when I was going into a meeting, check your email. So I knew something was up, or something terrible happened, one or the other, because Longman doesn't text often.
It goes way back. I grew up in a tradition-rich town outside of Rochester, Rhinelander, and we've had lacrosse since the 50s. So really started playing, they started having organized lacrosse in middle school. There was a 5th and 6th grade team, a 7th, 8th grade team, then it worked up way through high school. So I was lucky enough to be in a place that, you know, had a lot of respect and passion for the game as a youngster. Well, I was an assistant coach. I was down at WNL and University of Virginia, and then I had the opportunity to come back up here also to get my master's at Alfred, so I did that. This job opportunity opened up. You know, I knew Ithaca as being a pretty cool town and a cool place to live, and so I looked into it, the opportunity to be a head coach.
It's tough. Coach Wong's a hard person to talk about. So Coach Wong does a really great job of preparing us for games, and he has a very good gauge of what should stay on the field and what stay off the field. So I think Coach Wong, if you go into his office, he's one of the most chill guys you'll ever meet. He's playing music, Bob Marley in his office, just one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. But once we get on the field, the switch turns on and he's focused and he's ready to get us ready to play on game day. And it's 100% focused when he's on that field, coaching us to the best of his ability. And once he steps off that field, he's back to that chill guy that he is, playing music in his office.
24 call, okay? Here we go. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Okay. We go 20, 20, 20, move it. What are you moving on for? Make him work!
So on the field, you know, I coach a lot like I played, you know, when I was a senior. I'm all over guys. I'm all about holding them accountable. I think that's something really important, making sure that they're accountable for the good that they do and the mistakes that they make, and making this a big part of their life. You know, I think the reason Coach Long and I were so close is because at Navy, you know, lacrosse was so important to him. And while I was here, this was the most important thing to me. You know, as a player, you're constantly reminded that you represent everybody, you know, whoever wore that jersey and the guys who are wearing it. And now as a, you know, coach working within the institution, within the athletic department, you know, I represent a lot more, you know, and I understand that now. You know, I represent this athletic department, the Ithaca College, the institution, the town, the city, everything.
You know, I've never had an assistant coach till last year, and, you know, I'm 59 years old and he's 25 years old, so number one, he bridges that gap between me and the younger guys on the team. He's a difference maker in the quality of this program.
Yeah, having Coach back for the second year, it's great. He's really dedicated his time to this program, and it's really shown. You know, we spend time in the film room. He really does a good job with that, preparing us for our opponents, and even just looking at ourselves, you know, what we can do to be better. And I think that's really helped a lot of us improve our game. Personally, I just want to help this team take the next step, and I think, well, again, we got a strong roster coming back, and, you know, we don't want to sell ourselves short by any means. So I think if I can bring it every day, and the rest of us, we got a good shot at going far this year.
There you go. Hey, you got Kenny. Get up!
Captain practice is big as far as keeping the team, you know, staying in touch throughout the off season, if you want to call it that. It's important to really keep the younger guys motivated and know that, you know, just because it's captain's practice doesn't mean that those are off days. So the 6 of us have really stressed that they're really important for us to better ourselves, because not other teams are doing the captain's practices, and so we pride ourselves on going above and beyond what other teams are doing.
Those first line drills, man, it can't be Bukas yelling at everyone to get going. It's got to be done. Like, how are we going to become a better team if we can't get through line drills? You guys don't want to know what a six-pack is.
We got 9 o'clock at night. I know we're tired. Like, I didn't want to come to practice for a little bit either, but as soon as I stepped on the field and I was with all my friends and throwing around, I had a blast.
So I came to Ithaca College my freshman year, and I ended up having a lot of success as a face-off specialist. And after that, I was named Empire 8 All-Conference Honorable Mention. And that summer, I attended a face-off camp that I'd been going to for a couple of years, the Alex Smith Fogo camp. And Alex approached me and he said, "Hey, like, where do you go to school?" And I said, "I go to Ithaca College." And he said, would you ever consider transferring? And I said, I had never really thought about it. And I said, to where? And he said, University of Delaware. And I said, wow, like, that's my dream. That's what I've always wanted to do. I had to call Coach Long, and it was a really tough decision for me to make. I actually broke down. I had to think about all my teammates I was going to leave and the bonds I would have to make at University of Delaware, and ultimately I decided to take the chance and see what happened. And so I got there, and I was instantly miserable. They stuck me in a dorm by myself, stuck me in a locker room by myself, and I was actually messaged by Jake Long, who was a captain that year. And he said, hey, how's it going? I said, oh, like, I don't really think I'm going to be playing lacrosse here anymore. He said, well, if you ever want to come back to Ithaca, I said, he said, you're more than welcome to come. I said, so I worked things out, called Coach Long, and I said, look, I'm really sorry, I made a mistake, but I want to come back. We're all really close together. We have a smaller team this year, and so that just makes us that much more tight. And so the tighter we are, I think that really shows on the field, because it builds dynamic, and we get to know each other, not just on the field, but also off the field. And I think that's really important.
Stacking 24s, it just means you're just, it's tough. I mean, it's hard to explain. You're just taking it day by day, not really worrying about what happened yesterday, what's going to happen tomorrow. You're focusing on the present and not worrying about anything else.
Stacking 24s is, you know, just when you step on a lacrosse field, nothing else really matters other than those 2 hours with your teammates and the coaches. It's, you know, it takes a lot of mental toughness to, you know, do that, but you got to really flip the switch when you step on the field every day.
I mean, you kind of get an idea, you know, you hear stacking 24s, you get an idea of what it means. Coach Long, for the longest time, you know, I kept asking, what does it mean? They all have their little bracelets and stuff. It's taking care of that day. You know, you can't control what happened yesterday. You can only prepare for tomorrow. You can't control about what's going to happen. So it's managing your effort, your energy, your focus for that 24 hours, whether it's in, you know, in the classroom, on the turf, in the locker room, in the training room, in the weight room, whatever it is. You know, it's controlling the moment.
It just makes you realize how little time you have and how we should make the most of every day we're on that field and every time you step on that turf, and not take it for granted.
Don't slow down, baby. I don't slow down. This at the drop of a dime, baby.